Prof Dr. Mohd Tajuddin Mohd Rasdi. In this 2024 Chinese New Year, I wanted to do something different. I wanted to wish the Chinese community in Malaysia a happy Chinese New Year with my own story about my relationship with this people. There are many important contributions to my life from the Chinese people that I would like to share with my fellow countrymen, and women also. The Chinese community had contributed significantly to my education and career both as an academic in architecture and as a social commentator on nation building. I was born in a small police hut to Jahara binti Ahmad and Mohd Rasdi binti who was Mata 28,847. I do not remember my first place of birth at Kepala Batas in a one-room flat with an outdoor toilet, according to my eldest sister's story. I was number 5 in a 6-sibling family. I also do not remember my second home in Berek Street Marks in Butterworth, according to my late mother. My earliest memory was a kampung house by the sea in Kuala Muda when I was 3 years old. There were many memories that I still keep about getting chicken pox, struggling with many 6-inch worms infesting in my stomach, the earthquake of 1966 and the storm at sea that blew up large fish flapping for life in ponds and puddles. The Indonesian Confrontation of 1965 saw my father seldom coming home, and when he did he lugged the heavy bren gun. I still have memories of paying 5 sen a person to watch Ramlee movies on black and white television in a Chinese residence, as well as the free wayang shown in the open field by the government combating worm infestation in children. That was my first encounter with the Chinese people. In 1969, I was in Berek Polis Prai and was enrolled in Sekolah Rendah Kebangsaan Street Marks Butterworth. I was in street marks for 6 years and I remember many of my Indian friends but not many Chinese ones. I remember both my Indian and Chinese teachers who taught me many subjects of Tariq, art, English and maths. I do not remember any Malay teacher at all, as there was probably none. Pendidikan Islam was not in existence yet. In 1969 also, I remember living for the first time in a Chinese modern bungalow of 2 stories with so many bedrooms as compared to our 1-bedroom Berek Polis for a family of 8. I think that my father feared the 13th of May riot in KL might spill over to Prai and threaten the Balai Polis where we lived, and so he had asked one of his Chinese friends, a Tauk, to help. We stayed for 2 weeks there. My whole childhood was in the Butterworth police flat, which was a 4-story walk-up apartment. There, I had Malay, Indian, Chinese and Sikh friends playing football, gazing, wayang, marbles and police and thief. We would burkala or picnic on the 6-foot veranda external corridor and share the pieces of fish, chicken or mutton with each other. I was introduced to Enid Blyton books at the age of 12 and struck up a close friendship with a Chinese boy of whom we would exchange storybooks, and he would buy second-hand books for me in Penang Island while I was forbidden by my father to go there alone. After 1.5 years at Street Marks Secondary School, my father moved the family to the Taiping police flat and I found myself in an all-Chinese vernacular school of SMJK Hualien. I had never seen so many Chinese in my life up till then. All my teachers were mostly Chinese with a few Indian and only 3 teachers who were Malay from my schooling at 2D1, 3B1, 4 Science 1, 5 Science 1 and Lower 6. I would like to acknowledge the help in my education from all the Chinese teachers and all my Chinese Hualien friends during that 5 years. I was better at maths and science there, and I have always excelled at English and Bahasa Malaysia, of course. There was never a time that I was bullied, spoken a racial slur to, or even ignored. I always felt at ease and had all the fun that a teenager would, roaming with my friends from football match to football match and eating ice catching at the Taiping supermarket. When I left with 11 Malay girls and boys on my first 32-hour plane ride to Green Bay, Wisconsin, 2 Chinese and a few Malay students met us. My 2 friends, Wan and Yasmedi from the East Coast were placed at the same apartment with a Chinese senior student. Sadly, I have forgotten his name. He offered his food and said nak makan ambil sajalah. For the next few weeks, he helped us settle in with the shopping, registering in the ways of the campus, plus tips on how to survive the Wisconsin winter. He also taught us the intricacies of understanding American football. When I started my career at University Technology Malaysia in June 1987, my late friend Hong Lim Fu helped me to settle in my teaching and the campus life. He remained a lecturer for 27 years while I had excelled to senior lecturer at 36, associate professor at 37 and professor at 43. My career as a stellar architecture academic took a drastic turn when Anwar Ibrahim was imprisoned by Tun M. I began to discover the horror of Malay politics amidst my understanding of the Islamic reformist movement. I told myself that I must write to explain the ideals of a progressive Islam, now known as Madani, to the Malay community. I was already writing about architecture to the New Straits Times, Utusan Malaysia and the Star. Beginning in 2013, I began writing about education, social issues and politics, firstly for Malaysiakani as letter contributors. My first appointment as a social and political columnist was with Free Malaysia at Daei. I was also writing as a columnist in Utusan Malaysia and Sina Harian as well as the Borneo Post. Sanchu Daily at that time was interested in my writing and began to translate them until one day I got the call by my present editor asking me to join as a regular columnist 6 years ago. I must pay tribute to Sanchu Daily for publishing every article I wrote faithfully and without any editing of so-called sensitive matters. My reputation as an academic and as a concerned Malaysia grew with my association with the Sanchu newspaper. In 2015, I had applied for early retirement. Before that, I had applied to 2 other public universities to be a professor of architecture. I was then the most senior professor in my area of architecture theory and history with 40 books then to my name. Although my credentials were strong, both public universities rejected my application on the grounds that I was writing against the BN government, against the interest of the Malays and with a brand of Islam that was unacceptable to mainstream Malay culture. Luckily, Uxie University's owner was quick to process my application when I had applied there, and here I am still at that university. I must acknowledge another important Chinese Malaysians who saw my role in nation building and mentoring young academics for the university. I am most grateful for the trust of the owners and my head of School of Architecture as my writing took on a life of its own. Thus, in this year of the dragon, I wish to pay tribute to the Chinese community of Malaysia for their important role in helping me in my education and my career. As a Muslim, as a Malay and as a Malaysian, I salute the great Chinese community wherever they are in Malaysia. Many Chinese people have come up to me after my public talks or grace my home in Kayang with their presence and thanked me personally because they saw that I was their voice among the Malays to give a different fate and future to their children. I have always felt touched by their gratitude, but in turn I explained that what I have done is no more than being a just Muslim taught by the Prophet Muhammad, and that I was simply repaying the debt to the people of Malaysia for my education and career. May blessings and barakah be upon all my fellow Malaysians, the Chinese community and my Chinese friends this auspicious new year.
If you have any interesting ideas that can help build a better Malaysia, please put them in the comment section. And if you haven't subscribed, do subscribe. The subscription is free. You don't have to pay money. And we don't, YouTube doesn't give us your information. So there's no list of subscribers. I just know the number of subscribers, but no information about who the subscribers are. And we are not monetized, so there's no advertisements. When you click on our videos, you straight away watch our videos. You don't have to see annoying ads. Anyway, now please subscribe if you haven't done so, and please share our videos far and wide. Terima kasih. Wassalam.
If you want to see more content like this, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the bell notification so you don't miss any new videos.